Fast forward 6 months, and the LID Boss units are shipping and orders are flowing in. Of course, more revenue also means stacks of customer feedback to intake and prioritize. When I visited Mark and Jesse at Center for Advanced Design, I asked them how do they incorporate feedback in their process.
We have a customer satisfaction survey that we send out with machines or shortly thereafter when they receive them. In a lot of cases, the machines will be sent out with as a test and evaluation unit. So we're actually asking ahead of time. We'd be on a contractual basis, but they may have the machine for, say, 3 months. And then in that time, we ask if we can maybe call a few times to get the feedback of some of the attendants or managing staff or whatever. And then at the end, we just ask them to fill out a survey or questionnaire.
Some of the best ones would come from some of the local places, because even just like the Quick Trip down here had one, and you could just go in there and talk to the person that's managing that or working that station. You can ask them questions, and they're getting some of our best feedback from them.
So we have a version that we call behind the counter mode. Okay, so this one is, it should have been obvious to us early on, but we didn't really realize it. We were doing this thing where you wave in front hand and it comes down, and isn't that great? But if you were actually like at a quick service restaurant, this is this is how fast they want to put lids on the soda cups, right? They just put them on there. There's always one waiting there. So as soon as someone grabs the lid, it's taking care of all the stuff in the background, and then they just reach back and grab another one, reach back, grab another one. So things like that, where it was kind of just like, oh, well, that would be better.
For the LID Boss team, Ben's business development role now includes checking in on their largest customers, addressing customer feedback, and efficiently implementing design change is critical to their continued success. Let's see how the team was able to seamlessly incorporate customer feedback in a fully connected end-to-end change process.
One of Ben's largest restaurant customers has feedback on how the product could be improved for his servers that work behind the counter. Ben always has his tablet with him, so he quickly pulls up the LID Boss design and begins to mark it up. He starts by including an actual image of the product for context. Ben's customer indicates that they'd like to always have a lid waiting for the server. So Ben sketches up a simple concept for a slide that the lid can land on when dispensed. Ben also realizes that they'll need to upgrade the circuit board to include a switch that allows for restaurant server mode. Using his stylus, he circles the circuit board and adds a text annotation. Traditionally, Ben would have drafted up a long email and cobbled together pictures and napkin sketches to send to Megan. Now, Ben simply starts an issue directly from his markup. He fills out his recommendations and then assigns it directly to Megan. The markup, along with the SOLIDWORKS assembly, are automatically attached, allowing Ben to move on to his next customer meeting. Back at the office, Ben's issue shows up on Megan's dashboard, where she immediately begins reviewing his recommendations. She browses to the Attachment tab, where she drags and drops the annotated model into 3D markup, allowing her to review whether this is something they can accommodate or not. Megan's quite confident that this shouldn't be a problem to implement. She confirms that the assembly has been attached, and then tags Ben in a comment, letting him know that she'll have Eric begin working on it right away, and then sets the issue to in work. With the initial success of the LID Boss, Megan needed a formal way to track changes to the design. With the 3D Experience platform, this is easy. With a single click, she can transition Ben's original issue into a formal governing change action. Title and description are all copied over for her. All she has to do is right-size the urgency and date. Now, Megan can start the formal process of building the change. She defines herself as the approver and assigns the work to Eric. And of course, Ben will stay informed along the way. Next, she realizes that the request will require the circuit board to be revised. She does a quick search and adds this to the proposed changes list. Once completed, all that's left to do is set the change to in work. This simple step automates all the new revisions required and notifies Eric that he needs to start working on them. Eric's been working from home, but because the team is connected to a common cloud-based platform, he can easily access the change action directly from SOLIDWORKS. And unlike in the past, everything he needs to expedite this change is directly attached to the change action itself. With a simple drag and drop, he's ready to begin making the requested changes. He models up a sheet metal slide for the lids to land on and places it in the assembly. Then, he works with the team's circuit board provider to add a dip switch to the board that will allow the requested restaurant server mode to be activated. Once the new designs are saved and frozen, Eric just needs to submit his changes for review. With the change action submitted, Megan's been reviewing the updated circuit board. She loves the clean, elegant solution that Eric came up with for the lid slide. All that's left to do is provide her final comments and approve the design. Traditionally, she would have printed off the change action, signed it, scanned it, and placed it back in the project folder. Now, she simply prompted for her e-signature, allowing her to enter her credentials and attest to her approval. The platform takes care of automating the release of all the new revisions. Ben's been focusing on growing the business, and he couldn't be happier to receive the automated notification that his requested changes have been completed. Clicking the notification launches him directly into the change action, where he quickly reviews the changes that were implemented by accessing the preview from the Properties tab. And he can see the history of when it was signed off and by who, providing full traceability. Because issues and change actions are so tightly integrated, he's also been notified that his original issue has automatically been transitioned to in approval, allowing him to fully close the loop by marking it completed.
After 6 months, it's great to see the team is using more of their 3D ExperienceWorks applications. It's awesome to see Ben use markups and issues to capture and track product enhancement ideas, all directly from the customer's site. The change action implementation looks like a powerful way to keep all the ideas tracked, from concept to approval. The LID Boss team is quickly adapting their product to maintain their competitive hold on the market space. Throughout this series, I hope you were able to see how 3D ExperienceWorks is ready to empower teams like yours to swiftly achieve many aspects of your new product development.